Hello everyone, my name's Andy and welcome to episode 9 of Building the Boss Board. Starting off with a very quick 11:25 or so a.m. off the cuff unboxing of this pedal here, assuming it's in there, assuming all my hopes and dreams have come to fruition. It's going to be a great day. Back in late December, I ordered this pedal through Facebook Marketplace. So this is the only one for the Boss Board that I've had shipped to me through Facebook Marketplace. I have had a few through Craigslist that you've seen in previous episodes. This is the only one where it was a buy now, more official, holding funds, like seller has to wait to get their funds until I receive this. But again, that was back in December, probably the 20th or so, and it was what I thought was 2-day shipping. I mean, clearly this is not. I thought it was like a custom box. But anyway, there was USPS tracking. That's all that matters. And then a week went by. And I was like, yeah, the holiday, whatever. It's probably just not here yet. That's fine. And then another week went by. And I was like, okay. Like, this is an issue. So I reached out to the seller. And he said, hey, I haven't got my money. I'm guessing you haven't gotten your thing. And I said, no, I haven't. So we waited, we put in a case once it came time for that to be relevant, and then finally we saw some movement. So no box, that's okay, because I didn't expect one. But this is the absolute newest Boss pedal to date that I've picked up so far. So this is the Boss Digital Delay DD8. I was very interested in getting a DD7. Well, that's interesting. So that looks totally different from any of the other backplates I've seen. So maybe this is what all the fresh ones look like now. Interesting. Well, that's pretty cool. Made in Malaysia. So that's interesting. I guess I didn't know they ever switched from Taiwan to somewhere else. So anyway, I was very interested in a DD7. And because I think that one's been out for quite some time now with a bunch of different modes. Remember that digital delay is its own thing, but there's obviously other modes of delay. Something like a DD3, which you saw briefly in episode 8, only is digital delay with a limited number of milliseconds and all that good stuff. So the 7 is among a few of the models that have different modes on it, including loop, which on this one, which is kind of cool. I think the 7 has looping as well. Standard delay, tape delay, warm, reverse, RV, or plus RV includes reverb, I believe, shimmer, modulation, warp, and I don't know what GLT is, so I'll have to check that out. But anyway, I said, hey, might as well have the best of the best. And I think I explained it in episode 8. I'm going to put this at the very end behind the reverb, and I can double down as a looper because I've got the other DM2. So this was $100. So again, kind of technically falls in my parameters. It was spend $100 or less, not including shipping or tax. So these retail for about 160 new at $100 based on the fact that this I think was new in 2019. I would definitely call this a deal. So, yeah, this is a nice rubber too. That feels pretty nice. So, anyway, just wanted to get this quick unboxing out of the way. I took a little break from work, and we'll discuss this a little more in depth. But it finally showed up. I'm very happy for $100, considering how few used ones are out there, and the used ones are still about 130. So, thank you to Andrew who sent this to me. We were both very patient with each other, and it was awesome. Did not come with a box, which is okay, but it did include an extra power supply, which doesn't suck. It's nice to have extra ones of those. So, cool. We will get to doing a little demo of this, and we'll touch on a couple of the latest pedals I've gotten otherwise. Okay, so we're on the top corner of the Boss board. And here from the last episode, you see the DD3. So real quick, I am reaching around my tripod, so this is kind of goofy, but real quick, we are just going to swap this with the DD8. my plan for the DD3, I'm gonna keep it. I mean, shit, it was $20. Pardon my language. Remove those. Unplug. And I'm gonna leave it. I am gonna leave the pedal set again a smidge higher, because while there was 2 inputs on this one, even probably more in the way is 3 on the DD8. So again, you've got the 3, and then it became 4, 6, 7, 8 under the digital delay series. The current one in production for the DD3 is a DD3T, so you've got tap tempo. The direct out is moved over to the left side, and there is an input for tap, and I think maybe you can do expression with it too. So this pedal is still very relevant today, which is great. It's still very versatile. It just falls under the digital delay type, whereas again, this has digital delay and a bunch of other types. It's got stereo. It also has the tap tempo, expression, all that good stuff. So the DD3 I'm gonna keep. It's gonna end up on either my or my buddy Max's acoustic rig. We'll see what happens there, or he'll get his own. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. Before I stick it on there, different label. Use Boss PSA adapter. That's fine. Has something called carryover, which yes, I want it on. That's kind of like a trails mode. So when you turn the pedal off, it's gonna delay out or play out the last line or whatever was played through it. So, whoops, how about we don't lose that. So though I did it very slowly, it obviously does not take very long to swap a pedal on the Acclaim board. I recently heard the creators from Barcelona call it a clam, so I'm like, oh shoot, I thought it was Acclaim spelled differently. I think it sounds better. Not my company, don't care, but bam, now we are locked and loaded with that. So just going to touch on the latest pedals for the board, and then I'll do just a light demo of each. Scoot this down a little bit. So while it wasn't covered in the last one, I believe on the board was this Chorus CE3. So this is the one after the CE2, and the third knob is just a two option knob, which allows you to do stereo. The other thing I've been told is if you take your cable and just put it into input B and select stereo, this can get sort of a vibrato effect going, which would save you a lot of money from buying I think it's a VB2, whatever the vibrato pedal is. So that's kind of interesting. I'll have to try that sometime. But for the moment, I'm like, this still sounds great, and then I can leave my CE2s in their boxes and in really good shape. So if you have thoughts on that, if I should do the CE2 instead because I don't have Velcro, because I should be able to keep these in great shape otherwise, let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. And while you're watching, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. The other one that was touched on in episode 8 is the RV6 reverb. So I do believe that this is the current one in production for the standard size Boss reverb pedals. Obviously you've got the RV500, which is crazy. It's a whole other thing. They haven't made a 200 yet. I would really like them to go along with my DD200 and MD200 for my other board. I think that would be really cool. But anyway, so these are the 3 newest pedals with I guess it would be the 4 newest pedals, with the DD8 being the absolute newest. So between my buddy Max and I, we were talking about making an acoustic rig for him. So I had him over last week. I called it Pedalpalooza. It was just, hey, let's put boards of pedals out and have fun. And he really enjoyed delay and reverb. Was curious about the equalizer, how it gave his acoustic guitar a little more oomph, at least with mids boosted, and he liked the chorus. So I have the RV3 still. Actually, where's that board? Whether or not it goes on this board doesn't matter, but I mean, chorus, there's reverb and delay, and then I have another equalizer. I mean, that could be a simple fly rig for acoustics with a little more modulation stuff. Obviously, probably not need drives, things like that. But another thing I just wanted to touch on really quick. I don't know if it'll fit in here. This is the very first time I'm trying it. Okay, it doesn't really fit in here. I was noting that, oh, this is a little more offset than the normal stagger of every other pedal. I wanted to see if I could stick this tap tempo from Saturn Works in here, but I could probably set it right there and get enough Velcro or something and make it really sketchy. But as a tap tempo for this one, I actually had them custom make this one. I think they initially only do single and doubles that you can switch polarity on. I asked if they would make me a triple, and they did for like $10 more or something like that. That was really cool. Still had to pay for it, obviously, but anyway. I like the idea of the tap tempo being available. I also have with the box, I've got a Boss branded momentary, I think this is the momentary foot switch, which also has polarity options. I don't know exactly why they came up with it looking like this. A lot of Boss's big multi-effect boards have switches like this, but I haven't ever seen anybody with the different kinds of switches slid together like this, so that's kind of odd, but obviously it won't fit anywhere. So if I really want it, I'll probably just set it over there. But I'm going to zoom out just a smidgen. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to turn the amp on and we'll just play with, I guess, these three pedals for a minute and just go from there. Alright, so apologies if this gets a little loud. I've got my Les Paul plugged in, clean channel on the neck pickup. So right now we're on, I believe it's the, what do we got here? Plate reverb on the RV6. Obviously you can get that to go much bigger and longer. But we don't need it to go quite that bananas. Stick the chorus on there. Make it a little wilder and gnarlier. I don't know if that's more surf focused or what, but I like them kind of nooned, a little bit past noon. Still to the point where you can, I mean, certainly differentiate, but not making it a little too crazy. Right now, it looks like what we got here: loop standard, and it's the one thing I'm not a super fan of with Boss is you really got to be standing directly over the pedals to read them, depending on where everything's laid out. So Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum, I do love that channel, I keep referencing it, did a shootout with all the current in production Boss pedals, and this was on there, and I learned something that, unlike an old school delayer, and I guess in this case like a true analog delay, where when you switch the repeats or the time, you'll get more kind of spacey fluctuations, whereas this it'll do more of like a firing laser. I think he called it like a laser blast or something like that. Yeah, that. It won't do the same kind of spacey swells, which is fine. Um, One thing I may have touched on the last episode, maybe not, because I don't know if I even touched on the fact that this was coming. Um, the reason that this one is after the reverb is because I wanted to use this as a looper, which usually want absolutely dead last. So I've still got delay options in front of it, reverb followed by what can either be a crazy delay or a looper. So this doubles down, so I don't have to use a slot for an RC1, 3, 5, whatever line I would end up wanting to get otherwise, which is cool. At a glance, I think the only thing that I don't like as far as the DD8 is the fact that every single mode except for reverse only goes up to 800 milliseconds, which I believe is the same, yep, for the DD3. The max is going to be 800 milliseconds under the L there. So, I don't know. I mean, it's usually plenty of time. That's relatively slow and can cover a lot of bases. Again, I think maybe it's not 10 seconds, maybe it's 5 seconds as far as the reverse delay goes out of the box, but there is some sort of fancy way to probably unplug, hold a switch, switch modes, and I believe you can change the tap division. And I was told that with the expression pedal or the tempo out, you can do up to 10 seconds of delay on any mode, which is great. So again, I just got to kind of decide how I'm going to do a tap tempo, if I'm going to do a tap tempo. Am I just going to hang it off the side or what the plan is? But anyway, there is I do like how delay and reverb get combined. I think we're on the right one now. Nope. There we go. RV plus, so I believe it's a digital or standard delay with some reverb mixed in. But I do like the concept of them mixing those two, giving you that option, even if it's just, something very light like that. But GLT, what does that one do? Okay. So you can put a dry signal over a little repeated sound, and then it's gone. I believe, is it this one? So Warp will do something like that too, where you can play a delayed line over it, where I believe the GLT is a dry line, and it just kind of gets sucked into whatever was played is the only thing delaying. So that it just picked up the end of my chord, so that's it. And you can make that go a little bonkers too. So anyway, also stereo, which I'm curious about doing a stereo thing, especially because the chorus could do it. It'd be fun to put the chorus back here and get all that going in stereo. So thank you for watching. This has been episode 9 of Building the Boss Board. Just wanted to fart around with these pedals. Remember, everything that's here, even something as new as the DD8, it's got demos aplenty for itself. Again, my piece of it is bringing you on the journey to bringing it all together. So I think maybe not the next episode, but I think the next piece of regarding the boss board, if we can at least get the whole thing into frame here. Here we go. I think I'm going to make some changes. I found that the DS1 and the SD1 together make for some pretty good distortion. Duh, no kidding. Go figure. That's what I'm trying to say. So I might take the Mega Distortion out and not put in the metal zone or the metal core. I think I might scoot these over, try the compressor there, take the harmonist out, stick that phaser up there, even though that pot isn't fixed yet. Again, the idea with this is, one, to learn a bunch of stuff, two, to show you guys how much money you can save, how much money you don't have to spend on, well, in this case, pedals, but gear in general, if you find local sources, local markets, things like that. But three, the idea of the board is I want it to be pretty modular. Obviously, Velcro is still pretty easy to, rip a pedal off, but the fact that I can just do a handful of screw turns on a couple of these, pop a pedal out and pop it back in, is pretty great. Fortunately for the switch from the 3 to the 8, I didn't have to switch to 9 volts or 12 volts, whereas some of the vintage ones, remember, we'll have to switch those on the power supplies. So, but anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you for checking out the latest pedals for the Boss board, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye.